privileged to be here. I am in Kenya today. I am a teacher from Zimbabwe. My name is Dr. Muso. Dr. Muso. But my full name is Muso Nyeloa. That's my full name. Eh? In Zimbabwe, I am a Ndebele. So today I'm here to tell you more about the Ndebele. I understand you talked about the Anglo Ndebele War, right? Yes. So let's just talk about this so-called Anglo Ndebele War. Sorry. Okay, we discovered that in the year 1893, the whites, they came to Zimbabwe. They came to Zimbabwe in 1890. So when they came to Zimbabwe in 1890, they came to an area which was called Mashona Land. In Mashonaland, there were people who were staying there who were known as the Shona people, right? Yes. So when they were in Mashonaland, they stayed there in 1890, 91, 92, 93, right? Yes. So in 1893 now, they were now bitter. Why? Because they failed to get minerals in Mashonaland. So they now wanted to now go to Ndebele land. Zimbabwe by then was divided into two. There was an area called Mashonaland where the Shonas were staying. There was an area which was called Ndebele land where the Ndebeles were staying, right? Yes. So they now wanted to go to Ndebele land. Why? They failed to get minerals in Mashonaland. Are we following? Yes. So now what happened is that in 1893, they now wanted to invade Ndebele land. So now this now explains why the Anglo-Ndebele War took place in 1893. It's called Anglo, meaning to say the British. But the British, they were represented by a company that had been formed by Cecil John Rhodes. He had formed a company which was known as the British South African Company. So it's called Anglo. Ndebele, we are talking about the Ndebele. Then the war, it was the fighting between the Ndebele and the what? Whites, right? Yes, so that is our background what? Information, right? Yes. Are we following? Yes. Very good. So we now want to move on and talk about the causes. What led the Ndebele and the whites to fight in 1893, right? Yes. So number one, the cause number one that led them to fight, causes number one. We have got what are called long-term causes. What are long-term causes? Okay, tell me. What are long-term causes? They are causes that occurs over a long period of time, right? So we have got these that led to the Anglo-Ndebele War. Number one, we have got Jameson's character. Jameson's character. It's one of the causes that led to the Anglo-Ndebele War, right? Who was Jameson? Jameson, he was the vice president of the BSAC. I want us to do together. What does BSAC stand for? Let's do together. British South African what? Company. Who was the president of the British South African Company? He was what? Cecil John what? Rhodes. And then And the vice president of the BSAC was known as what? Jameson. His name was called Star. He was called Star Leander. He was called Star Leander. So when you are grown up now, these are the names that should give your children these stories, eh? Yes, yes. Mother Jameson, Mother Leander. Eh? That's the story, right? So he was called what? A Star Leander what? Jameson. So we are saying that his personality it led to the war. Why? When the whites came in 1890 in Zimbabwe, they came to Mashonaland, right? So when they came down, they were so much excited. We are going to Zimbabwe. We are going to get minerals. They were promised 50 gold claims when they came out. So when they were coming, they said, "Yeah, we are not going to be rich. We are not going to be wealthy. Eh? We are going to have minerals. We are not going to, all that are going to change, right?" But guess what? 1890, gold, no gold, dollar. And then, 91, no gold, dollar. And then, 92, no gold, infinity. And then, 93, no gold, infinity. And then, so they're now going to, they now went to Starehe Jameson, the white. How are you, Jameson? You are the leader here in Zimbabwe of the BSAC. We know the leader is what? Rhodes. Tell us, where is the gold? You told there is gold. And told us that there is gold in Zimbabwe. Where is gold? Oh, get away, there is no gold. Tell us where is gold, Jameson. So he was angry, right? And he said to tell them that gold is not in Mashonaland. Gold is in Ndebele. So because of that now, the whites now wanted to move from Mashonaland to Ndebele. So Jameson's character led to the Anglo Ndebele War of 1893. Are we following?
Yes.
Good. Number 2, we have got also another cause called the issue of minerals. The issue of minerals. So when the whites came, like what I said, they were promised 50 gold claims. My daughters, you can imagine if someone promises you 1 gold claim, you'll be smiling every day. And from morning up to the afternoon, you'll be smiling. Why are you smiling? I was given 1 gold claim. What about 15? Oh, it means that you are now rich, right? So the whites, when they came, what did they do now? They were so much excited. It is said that when they arrived in Mashonaland, they started to dig everywhere. Why were they digging? They were searching for minerals, digging everywhere. Well, what are you doing? Why are you digging? We were told that Zimbabwe is minerally what? Rich. But guess what? No minerals. So the failure to get minerals, which is also called the second round. It is also called the El Dorado. In other books, you find the name El Dorado. So the failure to get minerals, the failure to get the El Dorado explains why the Ndebele fought with the whites in 1893. Are we together?
Yes.
Very good. Number 3, issue of boundaries. Issue of boundaries. The whites, when they came to Zimbabwe, what happened? Lobengula, the Ndebele king was called Lobengula. He was called Lobengula. He was the Ndebele king, right?
Yes.
So what did he do before the coming of the whites? He used to go to Mashonaland and collect tribute. There were some Shona chiefdoms that were under him, right? So what happened when the whites came now? We see that they to draw boundaries. King Lobe, we don't want to see you in Mashonaland. Mashonaland is now ours. Those the whites will say that. Mashonaland is now what? Ours. So if we see you in Mashonaland, we will kick you. We will beat you if we see you in Mashonaland. So Lobe, what did he do? He had to say, the whites, they have got marks and guns, and we have not. So he knew that if he went to Mashonaland, the whites were going to attack him using Maxim guns. And they were using spears and what? Axes. So what did he do? He had to follow what the whites said. But that on its own, it brought bitterness and frustrations and anger amongst the Ndebele. Why? They used to go to Mashonaland to what? To collect what? So the issue that led Ndebele to fight with the PSAC, to fight with the whites, it was because of the issue of what? Are we together? Then let's talk about another cause, which is called number 4, the immediate cause. Immediate cause. We write number 4, Victoria incident. The Victoria incident. Victoria, we see that it was a name that was given to this area by the whites. Today, it is known as Mashingo. In Mashingo, there is Great Zimbabwe. Have you ever heard about Great Zimbabwe? Our country, Zimbabwe, it was called Zimbabwe from this name, Great what? Zimbabwe. It's in Mashingo, right? So, in Victoria or in Mashingo, there were chiefdoms who were there. Number 1, a chief called Gomara. Chief called Gomara. One day, he and his men, they were strolling in the bush. They were in the bush. This bush, it's sunny. Today, it's so good. The fruits in the bush. So they were enjoying themselves in the bush, right? Then they saw telegraphic wire. I was in the wire, telegraphic wire. If you peep outside, you're going to see telephone lines, right? So the telephone lines by then, they were those that were made by they are not the telephone lines that we have that are in rubber form. So when they saw the telephone lines, they would say, you know what? My boys, come here. Let's cut the telephone lines. And if you cut the telephone lines, we want to make snares. Snares are used to catch animals. So he had to cut 500 yards of telegraphic wire in order to make snares. And when the whites were now calling, hello, where are you? The number that you've dialed is not available. Please try later. Hello. The number that you've dialed is not. Gomara had to cut 500 yards of telegraphic wire in order to make what? Snares. So the whites were angered. So as they were angered now, they went to Gomara. Hello, Gomara, how are you? You are the one who cut 500 yards. Yes, I'm the one. Pay a fine. And he paid a fine using the cattle that had been given by Lobengula. Lobengula was angered. How can you use my cattle to pay your fine? I'm going to punish you. In that same week, another chief in Mashingo, who was called Bere, Chief Bere, he stole Lobengula's cattle. Lobengula was bitter. These Shona chiefdoms, Gomara took my cattle. This one, he has stolen my cattle. So what did Lobengula do? He had to dispatch an army. It is said that he had to send 3,000 young warriors. In Ndebele, we call them Amajaha. They are called Amajaha, like this, Amajaha. So he had to dispatch an army of 3,000 men. Go and punish the Shona chiefdoms. So when they moved to Mashingo, they violated boundary issue. So when they moved to Mashingo, they arrived in Mashingo, they started to burn houses, they started to beat people. The Shona people, they fled to the mountains. When they fled to the mountains, Cecil John Rhodes was angry about that. He had to say, Jameson, rush to Mashingo. There's a problem in Mashingo. And you know that Jameson, he already hated Ndebele, right? He rushed to Mashingo. When he was in Mashingo, he had to call those people who were from Ndebele land. Ndebele, come here. What do you want here? We came here to punish Gomara and Ndebele. That's all. Only that we are not here to disturb you. All right, I have heard you now. I'm giving you 20 minutes to move away from Mashingo. You can imagine. These are people, right? If I force you, God, you are people. Someone can say, God, move. Move. But some will be what? They will be very slow. So those who were at the back now, they were shot and they were killed by Jameson. So when the other group arrived in Ndebele land, they told Lobengula. And when they told Lobengula, guess what? Lobengula was angry. And Ndebele started to prepare for the war. So the war, it started in 1893. They were fighting. The whites were using guns. And Ndebele, they were using what? Shields and what? Spears. But can you block a bullet with a shield? You go to the graveyard. So many ways.